changes. So there are sicknesses that are not healable by prayer. They are only healable by knowledge. They are healable by a change somehow. So this evening, I am going to be looking at 5 categories of causes, or 5 causes of ill health, 5 origins of diseases. Number 1, biological. Biological. This is where you can say that maybe you are dealing with a physiological issue, a pathological issue, or a chemical issue. But here is it. When I say biological, I mean that it is easily traceable to a bacteria, like Mycobacteria tuberculosis, which is responsible for tuberculosis, or the syphilitic virus. A bacteria, a virus, a parasite, like the malaria parasite. You can trace it to something like this. Or maybe it's pathological, where you can't say that there is a virus or a bacteria, but the organ is diseased, like a kidney disease, a lung disease, a liver disease, or something that is not tied to an infectious agent. This is biological. We can go to the laboratory and say, okay, this is the reason for this. Is biological. Number 2 category is nutritional. This is food-related issues that affect health. Here, we can be talking of undernutrition, in which case, somebody is not eating enough, or is not eating adequately, as we have in in Africa, and the third world. So he's having undernutrition with protein and energy malnutrition, kwashiorkor, marasmus. This can be undernutrition or overnutrition. Where somebody is eating too much. Like they say in America, most of America, they dig their grave with their teeth. I remember going to Tennessee for a program of Maurice Cerullo, and the food they were serving, there was a jar of Coke. It wasn't sold in bottles. You just go with a big cup and serve as much as you want to drink. Finish drinking it, you serve again. The cost was flat. If you want to drink it 10 times, nobody will charge you. The cup is as big as your arm, like this. Fill it up, and then go as many times as you want. Go. Those who like to eat will just finish themselves. That was why one man told me after our New York meeting, when we had 7 hours in God's presence that became 8 hours in New York City. He said, keeping Americans for 8 hours without eating is equivalent to the miracle of raising the dead. An American white man, that is what he said. Jonathan Shuttlesworth. So there are people whose health problem is nutritional. Is eating a lot of sugary things. Diabetes is inevitable. Diabetes. And like Papa Yereko said many years ago, he said there are people who are not having diabetes, they are having diet cookies, too much Coke. Or I can say diet sugaries. Too much of salt, for example, will assist hypertension. Too much of salt. Too much of fried food, for example, will increase cholesterol and give you heart diseases. There are people who will not eat anything except it is extremely fried. And they eat it at odd times. Too much of odd time eating, for example, will cause deposition of fat in the wrong places. So you are both in a church school and a nutritional school and also a medical school. So some of these things are not things that anybody can pray for you about. For example, I trained in Plateau State, went to Jos University Medical School. Among the children from the Birom tribe and some of those tribes, you will never find kwashiorkor. Birom, yes. Reason, they eat acha and some of those gote and all of these mixtures that is so rich in protein, that is so nutritious, and it's impossible for them to have those kind of things. Meanwhile, when you go to teaching hospitals in most part of the West, I'm talking about another thing now. You don't look too far to find peptic ulcer disease because of too much eating of pepper. No, these are things that we learned in school. It was clear. I mean, various regions, there are things that once you go there, you find it very easily. Am I communicating at all? So this is nutritional. And when we come to the solution at the end, we'll look at that. So when you look at your life and you look at how you operate and function. My wife says she's aware. There is a time of the night that meat can't enter this mouth. I mean, I don't struggle for it. If you like, fry it. If you like, decorate it until it's not interesting at all. It's not that I decided. My body rejects it at that time. Hallelujah. So we have nutritional causes that can lead to ill health. And then number 3 is behavioral. Biological, nutritional, and behavioral. This is lifestyle related diseases. Diseases of lifestyle. The person brought the sickness upon himself or herself by lifestyle. For example, the alcoholic man, an alcoholic, eventually may not escape chronic liver disease, fatty liver, liver cirrhosis, and then hepatocellular carcinoma at the end. In that progression, he may not escape it. He also may not escape some form of heart diseases. I've seen situations of alcoholic heart muscle disease, alcoholic cardiomyopathy, dilated myopathy of the heart. An alcoholic may not escape that. And then you come to the guy who is a tobacco smoker. In fact, the alcoholic is also highly predisposed to pulmonary tuberculosis very easily. Then you come to the smoker who's a lifestyle smoker. He's playing with bronchogenic carcinoma, cancer of the bronchus and cancer of the lungs. He's also playing with hypertension. And as I speak now, I remember a man. In fact, the alcoholic also will have, if he's a diabetic person, the alcoholism will worsen his diabetes. Am I communicating? My wife, when we came to town newly, she practiced for about 1.5 years, thereabout. When we came to town newly, she was practicing in a private hospital as the ministry started. And she met a man in the place of her practice. And this man was working, I think, in Sheraton then. Young-looking, vibrant man. At the managerial level at that time. And this man was battling with hypertension and diabetes. And he was also a smoker and a drunkard. Right? The smoking is worsening the hypertension, and the drunkenness is worsening the diabetes. He was drinking both of them. When he was told, you have to stop this thing so that the hypertension is not worsened, and so that the diabetes is not worsened. He said, I cannot stop it. It's a habit I have formed. It's hard to stop. Now listen to this. Now, he came to a point, I don't know whether he went into coma or something. He was at the point of death by the combination of this diabetes and hypertension and alcoholism and tobacco smoking. When he was in the face of death, by the time he came out, after a few weeks, he became normal, and his body became very fresh, and he was looking very, very healthy. And I think we saw him. What happened to you? You are so healthy now. He said, yes. Are you smoking still? No. Are you drinking still? No. Who prayed for you to stop? Nobody. He didn't need prayer. In the face of death, he had to change lifestyle. When it was a choice between dying and smoking, between dying and alcohol, he made a choice. Am I communicating at all? So there are behavioral things that predispose people to, please take your seat. The person is eating and eating and eating, and obesity is dealing with him. You see, and when you see a lot of people with a lot of fat deposition, the major challenge is that fat is not just here and here and here and here, but that fat is also now deposited around the heart, which is a wrong place for fat to be. They used to tell us in medical school that everybody's heart is the size of their fist. So if you see a very, very loaded person, then it should make his fist, and then that fist is almost, that heart is also greasy and fatty, which is very, very dangerous. Am I communicating at all? I don't need to tell you about lifestyle that brings affliction. Immoral lifestyle. Sexually transmitted infections. Whether it is trichomonas, whether it is chlamydia, whether it is herpes simplex virus, whether it is syphilis, whether it is gonorrhea, whether it is human immunodeficiency virus, all these are transmitted in this way. And by the transmission also comes complications. If it is a lady, most of the infections will affect the fallopian tubes, tuber blockage. All right? If it's a man, Staphylococcus aureus and others will deal dangerously with the spermatic area. The outcome for the man is low sperm count, azoospermia, oligospermia. He has sperm that has no head, and motility is zero, is weakened. The whole system, so these are lifestyle things. Am I communicating at all? I'm not trying to frighten you, but it's important for reality to be told, right? Somebody say, I'm not doing too much. The only thing I'm doing my own is only kissing. Inside that saliva, there are things transmitted. Hallelujah. Well, if you start small, if the person has gum diseases and odorous mouth, that is directly transmitted. Directly. Gingivitis and all of those things are transmitted. That one is direct. Or a human papilloma virus, the one they are talking about right now, is coming through there. I think infectious mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr virus, all that is coming through that means. Or oral candidiasis that just makes the throat almost difficult to swallow. And then if the person has sore in the mouth or even small cut, maybe his tongue, teeth cut tongue, and there's small bleeding that is even not noticeable. Any other thing can be transferred. Anything in the blood. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Helicobacter pylori. the one that causes ulcer is plenty in the saliva. Hallelujah. So that is why I said that there are some things. It is not prayer that will handle. It is knowledge. It is information. So the next time a joker is coming your way, so I'm not ready for it.